Love how the Bengals have so many receivers that are the same overall.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one, between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy sprinting.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they'll go on the ground. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Set! Green, 39!
Back to throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
Even better than that, they pitched a shutout in that game, and I'm telling you, that is a confidence builder and a trust builder on both sides. And what I mean by that is coaching staff putting together a game plan, players executing it. Now both of them are in sync.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 account.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Bengals bring out their punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And we'll see what he can do on the return. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And they'll be let out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. I thought the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Here we go!
They're going to look to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Here's Cincinnati defensively right now in the NFL, ranked number 12 against the pass. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
They'll drop the throw. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And now here comes the Steelers defense once more. And they have been disruptive in the backfield. And how often when we see this, as we look at some of these highlights, is it just better players getting in there versus scheme that is defeating the offense?
It's a great question, and I think oftentimes we rely on scheme. We fall back and say, well, the scheme broke down, rather than giving credit to the players making plays. But when the scheme does break down, you're looking at oftentimes just being overloaded. Too many guys coming from one side or one particular area, then you can actually block them. You know, if there's 2 guys there to block them, they'll bring 3, and that 3rd guy will get through. So when you want to max protect there, meaning getting everyone in, your whole offensive line, your tight end and your running backs, trying to make sure that you're never outnumbered by the defensive guys coming in.
And they'll run it here. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be 4th down. He'll take it at the 42. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
31 yards there and a 1st down.
We could talk about bend but don't break all we want, but the defense now, we're going to find out just how flexible and pliable they really are. Can they bounce back after that type of a run, that type of momentum against them, and find a way to slow down this offense?
He'll drop to throw. Oh, and it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's 2nd down.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3 and not giving up 6.
He'll get it up the middle. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. And let's see 6 defensive backs out there. They're in the dime here on 3rd and goal.
Let's go! Brad 38! Brad 38!
They'll set up to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage. Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And it worked his way across the 30 to the 32. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Now let's go!
From the gun, West, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
He gets away from one. So a change of possession here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
Here we go! Brad 38! Brad 38!
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains, because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Looking to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down. Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. Stop short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home.
And who is surprised by the fact that Russ Gentry is hurt once again?
Second and goal from the 1.
Like, this is actually starting to piss me off. It's every game. I wouldn't have an issue if his injury rating was low, like under 7. But it's not, which makes it even more bullshit.
In for the score. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 30.
Operating from the gun. West throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. And the Steelers signal for another timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Steelers send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. Brought down, but after we saw a flashy little move, stopped short of the 40. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90. What?
To the sideline, and Oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where it was the visiting Patriots come in and get the victory on the road. From there, let's head west to see what's going on with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Denver Broncos. 24-6 was the final score. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville. See what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And it was the visiting Dolphins who were able to get the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the 3rd quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin